But given that you would be most comfortable with the kind of trade deal that Canada has got, wouldn't you urge the Prime Minister to simply get on and negotiate that? Because it's clear that the rest of the European Union is prepared to give us that, and attempts to get more than that are using up so much ministerial time, so much civil service time, that isn't there just a massive opportunity cost in trying to get something better, which you don't think will yield anything particularly for the UK?
I'm supporting what the Prime Minister is trying to do, because I recognise... Why? Because I recognise all of us have to compromise to some extent. So, yes, of course, from a perfect point of view, I would rather not be in the agencies. But that if that is the price to pay to get an overall trade deal, and if that is something that unites the country and the Conservative Party, then that is something that I can live with, because there won't be direct effect of European Court of Justice jurisdiction. Do I think the Prime Minister is right to argue for that? Well, I'm willing to go along with what she has set out as a package, and therefore I have to accept that part of it, though I'm less enthusiastic about that part than other parts. I would like to see the dividend of leaving the European Union devoted to the health service. I think people felt that was promised during the referendum campaign, and the figures on health spending in real terms since 2010 is a 1.1% increase, whereas in the period of the Conservatives in government from 79 to 97, it was 3.4%. So we're running at a significantly lower real terms increase in health spending currently. And with an ageing population and with increasing medical sophistication, I don't think it's realistic to expect that the current levels of spending can be maintained.
And in terms of who should lead the Tory party into the next election, Theresa May or Jacob Rees-Mogg?
Oh, Theresa May. She is a fine leader and she has my full support.
And there's no question of you wanting to be leader before the next election?
I'm not a runner, there's no vacancy. I mean, I've answered this question in so many forums. I am not... No idea. I would be very surprised. I can't think why the Russians should wish to...
Well, except they do have a history of basically sowing dissent by... I mean, they, you know, they promote all sorts of people. There's not sort of method other than to sort of...
Look, I just don't know. I don't know who looks at my Twitter feed or not. I know I've got a certain number of...
Maybe you should have a look.
But people can do so and they're not. I mean, I met the Russian ambassador and he's a perfectly friendly and amiable chap, but I think Russia is a real threat to this country. We should take it extremely seriously and we should implement as tough measures as we can possibly implement if it turns out that the Salisbury attack was masterminded by Russia. It is simply outside the international order for a country to go around murdering people in another country's territory, as it was for them to have invaded the Crimea. And we cannot deal with a rogue state as if it is a normal state. So how many bots may be promoting me? Let me be quite clear that Russia is a threat to our security and we must respond robustly.
Now